Got it?
Yeah.
Alex from PH Tennis here. It's the one you've all been waiting for. My top 5 rackets. Mine though, not yours. Mine. Let's go. My number 5, the very first racket I loved, the head speed. The MP was what I went for. What I love about the head speed, I had a big swing. It's so easy to move around. I love its maneuverability. It's just a really easy racket to run around with for 3 hours, in all honesty. It's easy to get around, like I said, and whether you're attacking or defending. Love it from the back, as you can see from Sinner. Easy to defend with the back of the court, and really quick swing speed to really attack with it as well. Great racket. Gave me tennis elbow in the end, maybe a bit too whippy, bit too light. Not for me, but there we go. Still love it. Number 5. Numero 4. It's the racket I left the head speed for. It is the Prince Beast 100, okay? I absolutely love this racket, quite seriously. This easily could have been my number 1. This is a power racket, but it is probably the more flexible power racket on the market. It's going up against the E-Zone, which I hate, by the way, and the Pure Drive, which I also don't like because they're too stiff for me. This does all of what that does, but with more comfort, okay? So I think anyone can pick up and play this racket, and even though it's probably not the prettiest, and when this came in, everybody in the team were kind of like, what the hell is this racket? But pretty much anyone that's played with it, and you can see our reviews of all the coaches playing with it, there's barely a bad word to say about it. It does everything well, and with my single hander, no questions asked. I don't think about the racket on any shot anymore. I trust this to do everything. Great power, control. Just try it. I absolutely adore it, and if you're an intermediate player, you really can't go wrong with it. Get it in your hand and you'll probably love it. Number 4, Prince Beast 100. Number 3, actually, it could have gone anything from the Gravity range, but I'm gonna go with the Gravity Tour. I think this is a really underrated racket. I must say, this is one of the first frames that this different shape, this massive sweet spot, it's true. Even the Tour, the heavier frames in the Gravity, they still keep a 100 square inch, which is quite rare across all the brands. Generally, as you go up on a string pattern to 1820, you're going to get a smaller frame, but not this. You still keep the big sweet spot, and I just think you just find great depth with this racket all the time. Again, really easy to move around, a bit like the head speed, but I just feel like this 1820 is a bit more control, a bit more comfortable, and I have to put it above my other 2 choices for that reason, right? It's flexible, great to get around, and you're always going to find good depth, and you're not going to go too far wrong if you're always finding the baseline. Absolutely love this. Underrated, like I said, but another one to go and get in your hand. Number 3, Gravity Tour. In at number 2, it is the VCORE 98. Now, I've got to be honest, this is probably the nicest racket I've ever played with. It doesn't quite suit my game, so it's not going to be number 1, but has to be up there because it just feels like a Rolls Royce. Any forehand with this, I mean, I want it for the forehand. Again, my single hand on the backhand, maybe not quite as easy to play with for me, so I choose the Prince Beast, but this really is a quality made racket, fantastic to play with, great feel, plush, and you really feel it on impact. Unlike, it's really stood out. I've tried every racket here, and this really is, for me, the best made, best sounding, best feeling racket there is, and I want to play with this racket. Just unfortunately my game doesn't quite allow it, or I don't quite get enough from it. But yeah, absolutely stunning. I'm sure a lot of you have tried it. Obviously Yonex, increasingly popular, built beautifully, and it really shows when you feel it. VCORE 98, stunning frame, plays great. Have to check this one out. And last but not least, it's the best racket in the world, and funny enough, one you've probably never even heard of. It's the Prince Beast 98. This is the racket I play with. I originally played with the 100, the 98 even better. Now, a lot of the times when you go up to a 98, maybe you sacrifice a little bit of power, you know, maybe it's not as easy to find the depth, but I have to say, very little change, going up a little bit in weight, add that little bit more plow through the ball. This is, for me, the best power racket on the market. It's up against the E-Zone and the Pure Drive, both hugely popular rackets, as you know. This is just so much more comfortable, so much easier to play with, not as stiff, so it's not an arm breaker. I just love everything about it. It does everything well, doesn't have a deficiency, great for serving, stable on volleying. Actually, despite that lack of stiffness compared to an E-zone, it's got everything you need to plow through the ball. Absolutely adore it. It's a 1620 compared to the Prince 100 that I was my number 4, so maybe a bit more control than a 1619, not as much as an 1820, which is great. I find 16 to 19 to 1820 is too much of a jump sometimes, so actually this bridges the gap as well, so it's actually perfect for that. Can't rave about this enough. I know the looks aren't to everyone's taste, in fact they weren't to mine at all, but I don't really care. Once I played with it, no turning back, and that is why it is number 1 above all the others. The 100, I could have easily put the 100 at number 1, just because maybe it's more suitable for more of you out there, for more players, but this is just too good of a frame, and it's going up against the Yonex 98, the E-zone and so forth, and as I really genuinely rate it compared to those, gotta be number 1. Here it is, check it out. Right people, that was my top 5. Let me know what you think. I really do want to hear your comments. Obviously, the Prince Beast isn't played with by everyone, not the biggest selling power racket on the market, but it should be, I'm afraid, at Joe. But yeah, let me hear your comments one way or another. Remember, this is my top 5, not yours. This is literally what I want to play with for my arm, for my game. When it comes to you, you need to get these rackets in your hand, or any of the rackets, and use a demo service like we do at PH Tennis, and find the right racket for you. They do not feel the same, and obviously we all play differently. So use a demo service like we have here. And of course, if you like this content, like, share, subscribe, and never miss a trick with PH, all right? See you soon.